Hello everyone, welcome back to another Genshin Impact video. Although I already made an Is Albedo Worth It video not too long ago, I think considering how many buffs Albedo actually got in 2.3, and the fact that I've actually been able to test out these buffs, or at least 2 out of 3 of them. Yes, I'm looking at you Gorou Hangout event, which I still can't do because I didn't do Kokomi's story quest yet. Anyway, like I said, Albedo got a lot of buffs, and this could determine whether or not you actually think he's worth summoning for. So strap in, because we're going to be discussing how much of a boost he actually did get, and whether or not you should be using your precious primos on him. If you do end up finding the video helpful at all, please feel free to leave me a like and comment down below. I really do appreciate it, since it does help me boost into the YouTube algorithm. And if you want to see more Genshin Impact videos like this, make sure to hit that subscribe button and click that notification bell. Okay, but with all that out of the way, let's look at Albedo's buffs and see if it makes him more worth summoning for. So Albedo didn't just get one buff, he actually got 3, meaning besides Zhongli, he's the single most buffed character in Genshin Impact history. Well, actually, let me rephrase that. Albedo himself didn't get any new buffs. Absolutely nothing about his kit has changed since he first released. However, he did get 3 monumental external buffs. Not only did he get a brand new artifact set, which is now his best in slot, since it boosts both his defense and geo damage, but he also got a free 4-star weapon, which is now his best in slot sword, that can also be brought to max refinement for free. This sword not only has a high defense substat, but it also increases his skill damage by a percentage of his defense. And last but not least, there's a new 4-star character coming in 2.3 named Gorou, whose entire kit is based around boosting defense. So while nothing in Albedo's kit actually got buffed, these 3 external buffs have shot Albedo's damage through the roof. Okay, but you might be wondering how much of a difference this actually made. So if we take a look at my Albedo, my past build capped out at doing around 17,000 damage. And back then, I was actually pretty happy with this. Although they weren't huge numbers, they were very consistent, and since I was running him on the Tenacity of Millilith set, my entire team was enjoying the damage boost. However, just by changing to the Husk of Opulent Dream set, I actually saw a pretty significant boost in damage. This is because the 2-piece set gives you a whopping 30% defense boost, while the 4-piece set, while at max stats, gives you an additional 24% defense, on top of the 30% that you get from the 2-piece set, and also gives you a 24% boost to your geo bonus damage. This means altogether you're getting a 54% defense boost and a 24% boost to geo bonus damage. And since you can build these stacks off field, you can essentially have him maxed out at all times. And when I added his new weapon, the Cinnabar Spindle, I saw an even bigger damage boost. At level 90, the Cinnabar Spindle gives you an extra 69% defense. Nice. But that's not all, because it also increases his elemental skill damage by a whopping 40% at refinement 1. This can be increased all the way up to 80% of your defense at max refinement. This makes the Cinnabar Spindle his best in slot weapon by a large margin. And since this is a free to play event weapon, you can do this for absolutely free. By using both the Husk of Opulent Dreams and a refinement 2 Cinnabar Spindle, my Albedo skill damage is now hitting a little over 24,000 damage. I want to emphasize again that this is with a refinement 2 weapon when it can be brought all the way up to refinement 5, and if I'm being completely honest, my artifact set is nowhere near optimized, meaning that when I do eventually get my hands on some better artifacts, I should be seeing a pretty big increase to his overall damage, meaning that with a fully optimized artifact set and with this new best in slot weapon at max refinement, a well invested Albedo should be able to do over 30,000 damage per tick, all on his own. This is pretty impressive, or at least I think so. And keep in mind that his skill lasts for a whopping 30 seconds and has a very short cooldown, meaning you can have up to 100% uptime on his skill so long as the Geo construct doesn't break. And all of this doesn't even factor in the fact that there's still Gorou. Now, I haven't had the chance to playtest him just yet, but if you've already finished Kokomi's storyline, then you can go ahead and test him out yourself. But from what I've seen, Gorou does actually increase your defense by a pretty fair margin. And on top of this, if you are running a Geo team, then you can also get Geo bonus damage. And if you can manage to sustain the cost of his burst, you should be able to have 100% uptime on buffing your teammates. With Gorou in conjunction with his new artifact set and his new weapon, Albedo's skill should be hitting well over 30,000 damage and possibly into the 40,000s. Again, this is a skill with a 30-second duration, a low cooldown, and can proc every 2 seconds. And I don't know about you, but for a sub DPS character, this is a lot of damage to be adding to your rotations. And again, you can do this for absolutely free. My Albedo is at C2, but this actually doesn't affect his skill damage at all, meaning that the damage that you see my Albedo do from his skill is actually completely free to play achievable. While playing Genshin Impact, I've never seen a character have such an increase in damage, all from additions from one patch. Okay, but taking all of this into consideration, does this make Albedo worth summoning for? Overall, I think these boosts in damage makes Albedo a much more viable character. However, even with these buffs, he's only going to be a top meta pick in certain team comps. If you are running a double Geo team or even a mono Geo Geo team in the future, then Albedo's basically going to be the quintessential sub DPS. In fact, if you are planning on maining Ito and you have enough primos, I definitely recommend pulling Albedo. Since Ito, Gorou, and Albedo all scale off of defense, and Gorou can boost their defense and Geo damage, it should go without saying that all three of these characters are going to make a very good team. Or let's say that you're not planning on pulling for Ito, but you are planning on pulling for Zhongli. Zhongli and Albedo are actually a match made in heaven. So long as you're not dealing with a corrosion mechanic, these two characters can basically keep anyone safe without needing a healer. This paired with the fact that they can energy battery each other, and the fact that Zhongli's pillars can activate Albedo's flowers off-field, make these two the current double Geo standard. And unlike Ningguang, Noelle, and the future Gorou and Ito, Albedo is the only Geo character that plays well with other elements besides Zhongli. This is because he can boost your entire team's elemental mastery by 125 anytime he uses his burst, meaning that in addition to adding damage to your team's rotations with his skill, he can also increase your teammates' reaction damage. All of this makes Albedo an extremely flexible unit that can be placed onto just about any team. That being said, on elemental teams there's usually always another option instead of Albedo, but the fact that he's still so flexible shouldn't be overlooked. However, on the negative side, Albedo still does struggle whenever fighting against bosses, considering that they can break his Geo construct. This can be very frustrating when fighting enemies like the Makukenki, but since you can refresh and reposition his skill every few seconds, it's really not too big of an issue. All in all, with all the buffs that Albedo got from the patch 2.3, I would say that Albedo went from an A+ tier character straight up to an S rank character. Albedo supplies his team with a lot of off-field damage and is extremely flexible and can fit into just about any team comp. And with the coming of more defense-oriented characters and more Geo characters, he seems to be becoming more and more relevant. Do I think that he's an absolute must-pull that you need to have on your account no matter what? No, but neither is any character. But I do think that if you are planning on trying to make a mono Geo comp, especially if you're planning on summoning for Ito, then I think you would actually be making a pretty big mistake skipping him altogether. But at the end of the day, only you know what's best for your account and who you want to summon for. Keep in mind that characters like Ganyu and Xiao, who are fan favorites, still haven't gotten their reruns and might be right around the corner. Not to mention that Shinhei was just announced, so if you don't have a lot of primos, then you're going to have to make a pretty tough decision soon. But with all that said, I think that's all I have to say about Albedo for now. If you did end up finding this video helpful at all, please feel free to leave me a like and comment down below with whether you're summoning for Albedo or not. Or maybe you already have him and you're just enjoying the buffs. And if you want to see more Genshin Impact content from me, make sure to hit that subscribe button and click that notification bell. We're on our way to 20,000 subscribers and I'd love to have you along for the ride. Anyway, that's all for now guys. Until next time, best wishes. Bye.